Oh, shit.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Dead Funny Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Joining me today are my co-hosts, Kelsey, Mandy, Cody, and Bree. Whew, full cast today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing is now that this is set, it is set. So, woots. So excited about that. It would have been set if somebody, not trying to point any fingers here, Bree would have showed up to the Avengers review show. It already been set, but somebody chose not to do that. So.
Avengers review show.
I so thought that shade was coming at me, and I was like, shit, I gotta come up with my excuses right now.
No, you weren't actually supposed to be on that. I thought you were going to be on it because I downloaded the Black Widow picture and everything, and then all of a sudden I was like, Bree's not on this, and I was like, fuck. So then
I thought that was going to be shade at us because somebody didn't turn the camera on at 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. Or because I was disappearing during that thing, so
that
it was just
fucking
with his
great.
hand in
That
his
was
pants.
Either
so
you
funny.
or Thor with his hand down his pants. It was one or the other.
That
I
was
know which
good.
one I'd rather look at.
I don't disagree. Thor with his hand down his pants, pretty great. Pretty great indeed.
Oh, Kelsey, that's a hurtful face.
Oh,
I didn't like it, but that's okay.
I'm pretty sure we're probably going to lose a bunch of subscribers off of that for Kelsey being the only woman to not want to see Chris Hemsworth with his hand down his pants. I mean, he's got me.
I mean, okay, well, good. You know what? He can console himself with you.
That's fine.
Ew.
That's fine.
I don't know about that.
Chris Hemsworth, if you're watching this, hit me up.
Yes, I'm sure he'll take you over his, like, supermodel wife. Yeah.
I
Is he
mean,
I'm sure he'll be like, now I want to go find Chris out in, America. That sounds
Hang on,
good.
wait, I
Well,
don't
if
know this
Chris
because I don't
Hemsworth-
watch E or whatever. Is he actually married?
Yeah, no,
Jesus
he's
Christ.
married and he has a child, and it was really funny because after he
Oh,
recorded
man.
the first Avengers, he's all like big and bulky and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he was carrying his like very, very young child, like
He was
a few
carrying
weeks
it.
old max, and in his arms. And somebody paparazzi took a picture and was like, "Oh yeah, this is Chris Hemsworth with a hot dog," and he's like, "Who the fuck called my daughter a hot dog?"
Hot dog.
Good
What
Lord.
the
Oh my
fuck?
gosh.
That's hilarious.
I loved it.
He's married to oops.
All right.
Oh, she's cute.
Yeah, she's
Elsa
adorable.
Pataky.
Sure.
I feel like I've seen her face before in something.
Yeah, I totally
I
know
didn't
who
think
that
I had.
is.
I thought she was just a rando, but like they've been together a while. They seem happy. Like
Okay,
he's posted
so
pictures of his kids like screaming at like lightning, and they seem to be having fun. So
this is random and mean-spirited, but I don't care. Did you know that he dyes his eyebrows? And did you know that why he looks weird in the first event or the first Thor movie is because he has very pale eyebrows, so his face looks like a corpse. Seriously, go back and look at the poster for the first Thor movie.
Why do you know this?
Because
What?
we watched.
Cody.
Well, we watched all the Marvel movies in a row. Like we were doing like a movie a night before Endgame, and seeing Thor to Thor 2 to Thor to Avengers to Thor 2, like it's insane how much he changes.
Yeah, he looks completely different in Thor 2. In Thor 1, he looks like Voldemort.
Okay, so let's see if it pops up if I type this in. Chris Hemsworth's first eyebrows.
He does have very light eyebrows, especially given that his facial hair is not the same color.
Yeah, right?
That's
why he
very
looks like a
interesting.
weirdo.
I found
Oh,
a
yeah.
wonderful
You
thing
feel
that has
better
him in the
about
three.
me to just hate on Chris Hemsworth because I have better eyebrows than him and nothing else.
I mean, you take what you can get. If you've got
Right.
the eyebrows, flaunt the eyebrows, Cody.
Is that why he
mean,
got so hot? Is his fucking eyebrows? What the frick face?
No, look at
No.
the side by side. He looks almost. It's just take his eyebrows away. And
Oh,
you're
he
looking
looks
at it right now.
So much better with darker eyebrows. Like
That's what I'm saying. He went from freaking Voldemort to the hottest man in the world.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm sorry. Do you think he's taking that time?
He's taking that title from Ryan Reynolds. We need to calm the fuck down.
Yes!
All right?
Ryan?
Yes!
Yes. Ryan
Okay.
Reynolds. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's
No,
the thing.
no.
You've opened a can of worms between
No.
me, Mandy, and Kelsey, which is about
No.
This is all I had to
Ryan
say. This is all I had to
is
say.
the best Ryan. And it is not Ryan Reynolds. It is
It
Ryan
is-
Gosling.
Nope.
It's not though. It's not. Ryan Reynolds has
It
more potential.
absolutely is.
Ryan Reynolds has more potential in all his attributes. Every single one of them. Name it. Who's funnier out of all of them? Ryan Reynolds. Who's better looking out of all of them? Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Who's better shredded out of all of them? Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. Ryan Gosling.
Who can
Ryan
come
Reynolds has
out?
been playing the same
Who can
character
come
for
out
25 years
with a tumor cancer face and still look hot? Ryan fucking Reynolds.
Not Ryan Reynolds. He looks better with the mask on.
Who can look sexy in the Deadpool outfit? Ryan fucking Reynolds.
He takes off that mask, and it's not like he's like
I'd bang
super hot or anything.
Yeah, the personality comes through. He's still hot.
I
agree.
Oh, you guys are just so wrong about
agree.
this. Ryan Gosling for days.
No.
Guys, there just isn't that much of a difference between their faces.
That is so wrong.
Really
it's
wrong.
So wrong.
So wrong.
And it hurts me.
It's not even close.
No, I found a whole website that are dedicated to comparing these two, and they're like, guys, they're
Really?
practically identical. Everybody chill the fuck out.
They're not even
Not
close.
even close.
One of them is
Literally
Pikachu.
not even
The other
like
one is
Ryan
a
Reynolds.
Pikachu.
You are absolutely talking about Ryan Reynolds as the Pikachu, aren't you?
I mean,
Why would I call Ryan Gosling a Pikachu?
yeah, that's what.
How would that make sense in the current
Well, at this
zeitgeist?
point,
He kind of looks like a
No.
Pikachu.
I'm actually getting lost because I'm seeing them where they're actually like Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds, and then Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling, and they're switching the names back and forth, even though the person isn't changing. Slowly, they're just morphing into the same person for me. Oh boy,
Side by side, it's kind of freaky a little bit.
right?
No, not even close.
I
Yes.
think what you've just discovered is that Hollywood has a type for what it wants men to look like, and really all of these people look very near identical.
Except Ryan
Until
Reynolds.
you get to
It's a
Danny
step above.
DeVito.
Dude,
There's a
Danny
lot
DeVito,
of
that's my
morphs.
dude, man. That's my dude.
There's a lot of morphs of Ryan Reynolds and other people that I'm finding right now, and Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling kind of looks like a guy that you remember from high school that you see at the high school reunion, and you're like, oh wow, I remember you being hot in high school, and all right. But there's some other really good ones, like Ryan Reynolds and Jensen Ackles. I think maybe the prettiest thing in
Who is
existence.
Jensen Ackles?
That's Dean from Supernatural.
Oh, Dean from Supernatural, and he may be the most attractive man in
Okay,
existence.
wait.
I only know him
I
as
like
Dean.
Is he the gigantic one or the one with the stupid?
I got you.
90s
I
hair?
got you right here.
He's the shorter one.
Sam!
He's
Sam!
yeah.
That's like
Okay,
85% of his
He's the
dialogue.
one with the better jawline. Oh.
Okay, so it's not the one that's the size of Frankenstein.
No,
yeah.
Well, no, he's 5 inches shorter than the man that's
That's-
the size of Frankenstein.
That's my
Right.
favorite part of that show is him solely for the fact that he doesn't let go of the tough guy act like through everything. Like
Ever.
it's like we gotta
Except
kill
when
these
he's
demons.
crying.
Nope, not even when he's
You know?
crying, dude. When he's
No,
crying,
he has
when he's
Happy when he
crying,
cries.
it literally sounds like this.
No. Okay, well, okay. The audience needs to be aware that I can't see Chris, so it just sounds like a dog humping something from my perspective.
I mean that's pretty fucking spot on, honestly. Anyways, like he goes to order food, give me a Dr. Pepper and waffle fries. Like I mean, he keeps that shit going.
He's
Is he
not
Batman?
He's basically,
Yeah, Batman.
he's like the Batman of fucking Ghost. That's what he does.
No, you know what he is
He
though.
cries
This is
with
hilarious.
one perfect tear. Like it is a perfect single tear that lets you know I am feeling exactly enough masculine emotion for one tear.
And
It's
I'm
like,
sure
think he is
they have to
quickly-
show him like a nude picture of like Chuck Norris holding like the American flag and like an eagle landing on his shoulder just to get him to fucking shed that one tear too. That's the way he acts.
oh man.
A while ago, I had like a moment of clarity about the show Supernatural because I liked it for the first 5 seasons, and then I kind of quit.
Yeah,
once
good
they
choice.
killed Satan, and then they're like, "But what if there's a super devil? And what if Sam he doesn't have a soul anymore because of super devil?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm done, guys."
Yeah, no,
You're
that was a good
course.
call.
You lost
You made,
me.
I
you made the
think-
exact right point.
I think that whatever his name was, Jansen Knacklers, is almost
Oh
as
my
old
God,
as
I'm
his
offended.
dad
Cody,
now
it's
when the show
it's
started.
Jason
Just call him-
Necklace. All right, Jason Necklace.
Oh, you're the
Jesus.
worst.
Jesus,
No.
dude.
But
just call him
seriously, think
Dean.
about this. Think about a
Call
picture
him
of
Batman.
him now
Fucking Bruce
and a
Wayne.
picture of his dad from when the show started. And they are quickly becoming the same age. You know what I mean? Like the show has been running for so long.
Yeah, but they're ending it. This is their last season.
I don't.
yeah.
I
They're
mean,
ending
they're
No,
it?
no,
saying
they literally came out on Twitter with a thing. Like they had this whole heart-filled video where like it was Dean, Sam, and Castiel, and they were like kind of like tearing up and everything, and they're all like,
Is
"We
he
just
not
want to
dead
say,
yet?
nope." They were like, "We just want to say, like, honestly, this has been amazing. You guys have helped us build like a family on set. Like, we're gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do, not being able to see these guys like every fucking day, you know, and stuff like that."
They're gonna
like,
cry
yeah,
man tears.
pretty much.
Real manly man tears.
There's
I
a
should
lot
ask
of
her about this.
big shows that are ending.
Yeah, there's a lot of little shows that are ending too that people don't give a shit about, like Game of Thrones. That one's gone.
Speaking of Game of Thrones, did you guys hear about Kit Harington's?
Oh yeah, did you guys hear about that?
Thing?
Fuck.
What?
Oh, what
He's
happened?
in fucking rehab
He went to rehab.
for
For
alcohol
what?
and stress.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
I had okay. Now, granted, I didn't look super into this, but I had seen that it was like the end of the show, and it's been like 10 years of his life, and he's like, so I guess it's stress a little bit, where it's just kind of like overwhelming, like, oh geez, it's all over.
It's not even that. I mean, so many people thought he was gonna be the fucking final guy on the fucking throne, so I'm pretty sure he was constantly getting fucking asked questions left and fucking right, and having to fucking deal with that all the time, and having the stress of not letting that
he's
slip.
probably getting a lot of negativity
Because there's
too.
no way,
like-
there's no way in fuck like people wouldn't talk to him and like have like their phone out recording it, just trying to catch him off guard. And if that happened, like he'd be fucked. Like that's gotta
Well,
be stressful as shit.
It's a lot of stress. This is what I heard from what I was listening to. It was not directly from his mouth, but he said there's a lot of stress coming from knowing it was ending and it kind of like being his family and how much time he had put into it, and he didn't know quite what he was going to do next.
Yeah.
And that it's been his life for so long that it felt like he was losing a part of himself, I think.
Tell you what, Kid Harington, you
That's
can
fair.
come be a member on Dead Funny. I will gladly
Hey,
you.
we'll talk to you.
put your job application in. I will
Why
hit
would you
up.
want the less hot brother? There's another one that's been
Cody.
more longly.
What the fuck happened to you when you were a child? Jesus, you hate everything. Like, fuck.
Talk,
Oh,
Chris.
my God.
Don't even talk.
I
You
just
do
did
everything.
Ryan Reynolds
Oh.
or Kit Harington.
You have a jar of salt
Chris,
next
we
to
could-
you every conversation.
Ugh.
It's like, Chris, we could put on so many tracks of the things that you hate.
But
Like you
I
have
hate
zero.
stuff that's worth hating. Anybody that doesn't like Ryan Reynolds is basically just fucking.
I didn't say
I don't know
I
what's
don't
wrong
like
with you.
Ryan Reynolds. I just find
He
him to
should
be
be
the
at the
most
top of your
disappointing
list.
Ryan.
No, see, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in the history of this podcast. Easily. He's the best.
And have you guys ever seen the movie Rubber?
I mean, have you guys ever met Dylan? That's all I'm saying.
I love the movie Rubber. It's one of my all-time
Get the
favorites.
fuck out! Oh my god, you don't.
Now, what was that,
know.
Kelsey?
You
You was about to start jumping on me.
No.
What was that, Kelsey? Are you finally over here
No.
on fucking Team Chris now? Shit.
I mean, that's the opinion.
There is
No.
a sentient tire that causes people to explode, and Brian Posehn is in that movie. What is not to love?
So this just means
Chris, I
going
thought you didn't
forward.
like Rubber.
No, I don't like Rubber. It's stupid.
It's a great movie. You're
Brandon
Going
wrong.
likes
forward,
Rubber.
we just physically can't have Brandon and Cody on the same content. That's just all there's
No,
to it.
we
have
cannot.
to separate
We're
them.
gonna do a review show where all we do is talk about Rubber.
He literally
know-
ended a podcast with saying he is so excited for Rubber 2 to finally be made.
Is there going to be a Rubber 2?
Well, he had a
No.
whole 15-minute conversation about how they just showed the wheels roll up in Hollywood and about to take over Hollywood, and so that it was easily a cliffhanger.
You
I
know,
hope
if you
the
think
guy
about it,
designed-
Cody and Brandon are very similar, so it's almost not surprising. Like they're both very unique in the taste and the things they like, and we've learned some very specific things about both of them.
What
It's not a
specific
surprise.
things
Yeah,
have
I mean,
learned
you were
about
fucking
me?
batting it out of the park right
whale
now in
fear?
fucking mystery.
Okay, yeah, that's a specific thing. Yep, that's fair.
Yeah.
Specific
Totally relatable to Brandon, too. That dude fucking calls me up all
He
the time.
sounded so offended. Like, what have you learned about me in the time that I've been here?
Well, I just feel like I hadn't said anything that weird yet, and apparently I
well-
talked about the whales.
Well, we lost a bunch of the audio from last time, but you guys didn't hear about any of the ghost stuff.
That's gonna happen.
So-
I'm fucking pumped for that. It's gonna be a great podcast. It's gonna be a
It
great
gets
podcast.
weirder.
Yeah.
We could have a whole ghost podcast.
That's what I
That'd be
said.
fun.
No.
Guys, I got
Halloween.
ghost stories that we have to include, so please put me on that
Boom.
podcast.
We should
Yes.
just save
Am
it
I
for
going to
Halloween.
be the only one just there as a curmudgeon telling all of you that experiences aren't valid
Yeah,
and that I
pretty
don't
much.
believe you?
Well,
Yes!
it's always,
They're not my
it's always not
experiences.
valid.
Huh?
It's always not valid
problem is
until
they're not
you
my
experience yourself.
Exactly.
they're not my experiences. They're somebody else's experiences told by somebody who like doesn't lie, like ruin stories. Like, no, it wasn't an 8-foot trailer. It was a 6-foot trailer. Like that kind of pedantic person who's standing behind you while you're trying to tell a good story and they're trying to like nitpick the details. It was it's a 6-foot trailer person who was telling me the scariest damn part of this ghost story.
I'm gonna need you to do me a favor, Kelsey, like for future podcasts or future reference. Like I do a very, very like good job at trying to protect your identity. So if you could not use your real voice as a joke, you know, I'm just saying. You're not helping me out at all. That's all I'm saying.
Screw you, Chris.
I hope we do have the monster voice on all these podcasts, you know, where you like whatever mess with the mids so it sounds like you're talking for witness protection.
Cody.
Yes.
You severely severely I can't even go through with it. Oh my god. Oh man.
Are you gonna finish your sentence or are you gonna leave us hanging? Right?
I'm just gonna leave it. The joke's ruined. It's done.
The joke
is ruined.
Awesome.
It was too good.
Severely.
Yep.
That's it.
Severely. Obviously, Cody.
Ruined. Yep, you already know. Oh man, that was good. At least for me.
I think the problem is, Chris, I think you're the only one who gets your jokes and the rest of us are actually confused.
Well, it's good because it makes a great podcast when one person's laughing at their own jokes that they've made in their head
and didn't actually say out loud. Yeah, it's pretty great.
And didn't say out loud.
And the rest of us are just waiting.
Yeah.
If we stare at him long enough, he'll tell us what he's thinking.
Great too because
that's
what I was about to say. I was like, you don't get to pressure me because you can't see me. It's great. Oh man. Whew. Anyways, that was great. Man, good talk, guys. Good talk.
I can't believe Cody's a non-believer though.
What? In everything? Yeah. I mean,
it's not even everything. It's ghosts. Like, it's so hard for me to
is
sit here and listen to you sit here and talk shit about ghosts being fucking fake from the man who literally is terrified of something that doesn't fucking kill people.
Okay, no, I just saw an article to
fucking
Kelsey
want from
and some other people, and man, a guy got eaten by a whale.
I
The whale
guarantee you
immediately
he
spat
put
him out.
himself in that position.
No.
I
The whale
guarantee it.
accidentally
Did he
the whale
die?
immediately spit him out because you can't fit down the throat of a whale because they eat tiny shrimp.
There you go.
But
See,
it happened.
he lives. You
Yeah.
be
I don't
safe.
care. I don't want to experience that. Screw whales.
Dude, like the worst thing that's gonna happen is it's gonna feel like being taped to a wall for a few minutes and then you're gonna swim away. Like
I
that's the
cannot
worst part of it.
imagine something worse than being taped to something in the ocean.
I mean,
That is the worst
How about
thing.
shark teeth digging into your leg, ripping off your leg, and stripping your muscles?
Okay, now we've talked about this. What I'm saying is, if I was in the ocean and a shark
Sorry for the
swam up to
visuals,
me,
but I felt I had to because you said there's nothing worse than that.
well, because hear me out here. Okay, if you're in the ocean and there's a shark swimming towards you with like intent to bite, and you're not afraid, that's just dumb. You should be afraid of that. It's a predator. You're prey in this moment. You can't swim as fast.
go for the eyeballs, dude. Go for the
Right.
eyeballs.
Right, or
Okay,
pee,
I have
which
a
is my
follow-up.
strategy.
Continue.
So that makes sense. My thing with whales doesn't, but it's still way worse. I would much rather see a shark because then I would be afraid, I would run away, I would pee, and it would be fine.
I feel like
If
you're
I
gonna do
see
the
a
same thing.
whale and do the same thing, I seem like a weirdo, so I don't want to see a whale.
So I've heard that whole like punch the shark in the eye thing. During my
Fuck
husband
with
and I's
snout.
honeymoon.
No, I don't know who told you that. That's not what you do.
Just your
You
fingers
just go for
stab
the
it.
eyes. That's it.
No, let me finish off my story.
No,
During my
just
husband
go
and I's
for it.
honeymoon, we went out in
Shark
we went
hunting?
to no. So we were in Hawaii and
Fucking interesting
we
honeymoon, that's for
basically
sure.
decided to just swim across this bay. And we thought, oh, it's a bay, it's no big deal. Well, it was 1.5 miles across. And as we're starting to swim out there, and we've got flippers on and things like that, but it's 1.5 miles. And as we're swimming, I'm realizing I can't see the bottom and I can hear a ton of noise in my ears. And I'm not quite sure what it is. And something keeps stinging me and I have no idea what's going on. Turns out, so we're swimming 1.5 miles through what is actually open ocean, because dolphins and sharks alternate whether they're going to be in the bay that day. And so we got the day with the dolphins. So the thing I was hearing in my ears was literally dolphins below me. And I was seeing like huge shapes move on the ocean floor occasionally. And those were dolphins below me. And I'm like, I realized if there's sharks out here, there is no go for the eyes. I'm fucked. Like, there's nothing I can do. And there's no way I can punch. Hang on, let me finish. There's no way I can punch fast enough underwater to make a shark decide it doesn't want to eat me.
That's why you don't punch.
And the stinging thing that I kept feeling, and I was feeling it all over the place. I told my husband, I'm like, I can feel something stinging me. And he's like, I think it's salt crystallizing. I'm like, it's my body is underwater, and that's where the stinging is happening. There's literally no salt crystallizing on my skin. Turns out later we were swimming through baby man-o-war jellyfish.
See, and that's so what I thought.
Yeah, the reason it felt like something was swimming through my swimsuit was because there was literally a man-o-war jellyfish. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
What I was gonna say to what Cody said is that usually sharks attack up and like from the bottom up, so you can't see them all the time coming at you. Like they usually.
I'm so glad I didn't know.
This. So I don't know where you got this theory that you're gonna see it attacking
Bree
you.
apparently saw like the fucking cover of Jaws and was like, "Well, this is fucking 100%."
This is how sharks are.
No? Oh no! I'm gonna throw that right back at you because you guys have that assumption because you watch all the movies and you see the fin in the water. You go, "Oh."
No, we have the assumption because we're not watching the movies.
I have watched a lot of sea monster movies, and yeah, usually there's a fin in the
water. She rolls her eyes.
That killed me. Is he's like, I want to see the Meg, and like we're seeing this on the big screen, the preview, like while we're about to see another movie, and I'm like, I know you don't want to see that, and he's like, I want to see that. I'm like, why?
It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I'm glad, because I literally started watching it. I got like 5 minutes in, and I was like, there's got to be something else on HBO now for me to watch. There's got to be something else.
It was just like, why would you, if you're
terrible.
Scared of that, why would you put yourself through it?
Well, because it seems like a hilariously stupid movie.
No.
I like horror movies. Some of them are actually scary. It's just few and far between.
I had a recent realization. You guys, I think I've all admitted this in front of you. I have a deep and abiding love for disaster movies. So tsunamis, comets, you name it, the world's ending. I love them. So I've just been spoiled. Like, I've watched like 3 really good ones, and those are the ones I grew up on. And so in my head, that's what disaster movies are. Because all the ones recently that my husband has brought home, and he's like, here, let's watch this. You love disaster movies, have all been horrible. Every single one of them were just absolute shit. I'm like, I feel so bad we watched this. And I'm realizing I thought all of them were like Armageddon.
What I was going to say, what are your 3 top ones?
So, Armageddon, Dante's Peak, Volcano.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Volcano
and Dante's Peak
is a weird one.
Volcano's so Oh,
I
it's
gotta get the rest of them. Volcano was a weird movie.
Why is Volcano a weird movie?
When you watch a movie and you're like, oh, frick, it feels like the early 90s in this movie.
Hard, yes.
It's just like, it aged poorly.
I haven't rewatched Volcano in at least 5 years, minimum 5. I think probably 10 to 15. That was a movie
my mom watched, and then I watched later, and I'm like, what do you like Volcano for? I'm so confused. Why? You know what other movie? Okay, my mom's weird, and because here's the thing, my dad likes movies.
Watch this.
But
my mom's weird.
Hear me out here. The reason I like garbage action movies is not my dad. It's all mom. Mom was an Arnold fan. Her favorite movie was Commando. Which I don't know if you've seen Commando, but it's Arnold Schwarzenegger paints his face, has a machine gun, shoots from the hip, and never gets shot ever. It is that kind of movie, right? So there's a bunch of these movies that my mom watched, and then I went back and watched later, and I'm like, the frick is this? The other one that blows my mind is Highlander. Have you ever gone back and watched Highlander?
No. I haven't. Tell me it's worth it.
Oh my gosh, it's so weird. It's everyone has trench coats and samurai swords. you're one fedora and a neck beard away from all of the people saying "milady." Like, it's terrible. And I'm like, oh, this is so gross.
That's probably how I feel about Twilight. Like, when I went back and watched Twilight, I was like, this is really creepy. He's, like, stalking her.
Twilight is
Another
wonderful.
Bad thing about Twilight.
Okay, don't get me wrong. Like, I like watching it, but I get very uncomfortable watching his relationship with her.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
real creepy. Like, especially in the first movie when he's just, like, staring at her, like, just, like, hatefully rocking and staring at her. And she's like, can you please not? And he's like... like,
Okay, if he did that, I think I would literally shut it off. Like,
funny, that's going to be what happens in this podcast right at this point.
all of a sudden, our views just drop right at like 10 minutes in. What the hell?
It's definitely not been 10 minutes in.
It's
It's
been way more
definitely
than
not
10
been
minutes.
10 minutes in.
I wish there was a time at the bottom so I would have looked less stupid saying that.
Good lord. Anyways, I want to touch on the Batman thing here in a second, since obviously you know who is about to do that. But
Oh, yeah.
but it's
Yes.
actually funny. I know I've told this story before, but Cody and Mandy weren't part of the team back then. I actually have somebody in my life that did the same thing with the movie aspect, except it was my grandma, and it was horror films.
Nice.
And she would force me to stay up and watch Freddy Krueger before bedtime.
Good one. That's a good one.
So I would literally fall for it every time. She'd come over. It was like every 3 weekends. She'd come over and she'd be like, "Christopher, you want to come watch a movie with Grandma?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Want to watch Nightmare on Elm Street?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I sit down and then I'm
sounds
watching
good.
it, and then like all of a sudden it's over and I'm fucking like terrified. And then she'd be like, "Okay, it's bedtime." And I'd be screaming and crying because I didn't want to go to bed. And then she'd always trick me because she'd be like, "We got to finish the series. We got to finish the series." And every time. And the best part is that recently I was just talking to my little sister, and she was like, "Yeah, I was talking to Grandma, and she saw the video where you were talking about the fact that she used to force you to watch the movies, and she said that you need to quit being a baby," and crying about it.
Yes.
And I was like, and it's funny because if I was to go back and like play that video again, I guarantee you in there that if my grandma watched this video and saw me like talking about that, she'd tell me to fuck off, basically. Tough love is what she used to say. It's tough love. Look at you now. And it's just true. Like, I fucking can sit there and watch a scary movie and be like, all right, dope. Like, I don't get scared during scary movies. This is where it gets me. It's afterwards.
Is afterwards?
Whenever all the lights are off, because I have cats and they make fucking noises, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, dude. Like, I can't see dick out there right now. Like, it's dark. I have no idea what is running around my house right now. No idea. Like, scary movies, jump scares and all that, I'm fine. I can literally just sit there. It's like, I'm also one of those people, which is funny because, like, I know a lot of my friends are the opposite. I'm one of those people where, like, I can watch any amount of gore and literally be eating and be fine. Like, if they're ripping into, like, someone's intestines, I can be eating spaghetti, and I'm just good to go. Like, it just does not affect me whatsoever. I am good to go. Or, even better, one of the ones where actually one of my friends threw up. We were watching a movie, and we were eating cheeseburgers. And then on screen was, like, a rotten cheeseburger, and the dude picked it up, and there was, like, maggots and cockroaches crawling out, and he literally started, like, throwing up, and I was like, dude, bro, this fucking cheeseburger is lit, dude. Oh, my God, it's so good.
Okay, so I'm curious about something because I've definitely done this. Like, have you ever woken up at 3 a.m. and like definitely heard a person in your house getting ready to murder you?
No.
And you have that like
no
moment where you're like you eventually realize it's your Roomba running downstairs and it's not. But you have that moment where you like wake up and you're like, oh great, so I need to make a plan to get out the window, and like do I try to karate chop? Or do I try to call the police?
Do I tell my wife that I think there's someone?
Me and Cody are so different. Like, with all the fucking well stories and everything else, like, your first instinct is always to run. I have a fucking katana next to my bed. That's the first thing that's happening. I'm getting behind the wall, and the moment he comes around that doorway, straight through the fucking neck. Dead. Ease. Done.
And then, though, do you always, have that moment where you're like, I'm actually too tired to deal with a robbery.
That does not happen
Maybe
either. No.
the best idea would be for me just to sleep through
I would
it.
love for like
So that way when they open the door and they're like, well, if he's awake, I'm going to shoot him. But if he's asleep, he can't see my face. And I'm like, I'll just bank on that. And then I fall back asleep.
I would love to like set up like a fucking fake robbery for Cody whenever he's like dead to fuck asleep and he just like wakes up, looks up, sees got a ski mask. He's like, bro, like I'm fucking tired right now. Can we do this like tomorrow night? Like, please. Like,
I would probably wake up, say something like the TV's in the fridge, and then fall back asleep.
Oh man.
So,
Jesus.
Cody, to follow up with this, one time my husband was away, and like my solution for being like watching scary movies is being able to like wake up and be terrified and like roll over. My husband's right there, and I'm just like, well, if he's asleep and fine, we're fine. Like it's fine. But he was away. He was off doing one of his hobbies, and I was all alone, and I can hear a man's voice talking in my house, and I'm like, oh. No, like this is literally what could happen. Okay, and I also have a very massive. It is a battle edge on it, and I'm like, okay.
Very
My
massive
plan
what?
is
Sword.
I have a very large sword, and it's got a battle edge on it. And
It was the perfect time to cut out because I
Oh.
could have put anything in that. I was half hoping it was like a giant dildo.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, sure,
With
we're
a
going after
battle
this
edge
guy's
on
giant
it. Like, damn, man.
Why not? That sounds hilarious.
That fucking dildo has been through some shit. I'll tell you that. Jesus Christ.
dildo. Well, not if you're using it properly, Chris.
You're the one
Anyway.
that's got a battle edge on it. What the- You mean me using it properly?
Conversation is crazy right now.
But I'm hearing a man's voice, and I'm like, I've triple checked. Like, am I actually?
Yeah, you cut out again.
I'm so excited for this story, but you keep
The
fucking cutting out.
the sad part is it's like well, half of me is excited to hear the story. The other half is just thinking of like sexual innuendos that I definitely didn't get a chance to say. Like I was gonna be like, it's been down in the trenches. If you catch my
I really hope though this is the story where Kelsey like tells us that she murdered someone
shit,
in her
with a
house
dildo
and
Like, this
buried
is
them in
great.
the backyard.
Obviously, with a dildo. But
Someone's been playing too much Saints Row. That's all I'm saying.
But I do have that thought. Like, I'm like, I could actually kill somebody. And am I prepared to go to jail for this? Like, well, if it's there in my house, then yes, I guess I am. So I go downstairs with this gigantic sword and I'm like, let's do this. My freaking husband left YouTube on his computer when he left, and it's just been cycling through quiet videos until 2 a.m. when he got some really loud video of some neckbeard telling him how to build a fucking computer, and that's what I nearly stabbed in the middle of the night.
Wait, was it Linus Tech Tips? Kelsey, was it Linus Tech Tips?
I
love
don't know
Linus
because the
Tech
computer was
Tips.
locked, so I couldn't even figure out what video it was and shut it
That's
off.
happened
and
to
I
me
was like,
for Mandy before. She left her laptop on the kitchen table, and then it was like I was alone in the house at 2 a.m, and then all of a sudden there's talking. I'm like, what the? And I look over and it's like her computer. I'm like, oh.
Oh, it was probably because I left something rendering, and
that's what it started playing when it got done rendering.
yeah, as soon as it's done rendering, it just like starts cycling through again.
Okay, I actually do have one like tough guy home invasion commando story.
Oh.
oh, good.
This one's great. So this is when I was in college, and I
Oh,
lived
I
at
know
the
this
fraternity
one.
house, and this was over spring break, right? And at the time, I was not sleeping at the fraternity house, right? But I was supposed to be. And it was me and this kid named Evan, who I won't say his last name. But anyway, I was with Mandy in a dorm that I was not supposed to be in. Because we weren't supposed to have overnight people, which no one ever followed that rule, but whatever, right? So
Ever.
I'm there asleep at like 2 a.m, and my phone rings, and it's Evan, and he's like, Cody, are you in the house? And I'm like, no, Evan, I'm not there. What's going on? He's like, well, there's definitely someone in the attic trying to murder me.
What?
Can you come over and rescue me? And I'm like, are you sure about that, Evan? He's like, I saw him outside the curtain of my bed. You need to get over here and rescue me. So I'm like, okay. And like once I leave,
Wait, the curtain of his bed.
Yeah, I mean.
oh,
what the
sorry.
fuck are
Let
we
me
talking
explain this.
about?
I lived in the attic of a frat house. It was one large open room with sloped ceilings that ended in corners, so you couldn't stand up straight. 4 people lived in there, and if you wanted to have any sense of privacy, you had to hang curtains up around your bed.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, it was just you're sleeping like on a mattress in an open room.
It's just all mattresses on the floor.
Yeah, I did the
nightmare.
second option, which meant that if anyone walked up into the attic at like 2 a.m. to hang out with people, they just got to see Cody like half naked sprawled out in his bed like a monster. So anyways, I drive to the frat house at 2 a.m. and I like get in the back of my truck and get like
You
a
didn't call the
baseball.
cops?
No, because there wasn't anyone in the house. Who robs a fraternity house? For what? All of our trash? Do you want empty beer bottles? We don't have a TV. Anyways, what are they gonna do? Steal a broken piano?
Robbing, possibly murdering.
Why would they murder somebody?
Right.
That's a great question. There are a lot of people you can go ask that question.
I'm just saying, generally anyways. So I get over there and I like get a tire iron and a baseball bat out of my truck and like, have to like sneak through the whole house, like kicking down doors, checking every room. And I get up to the top.
It's very different, though, than your "I run away from everything" statement. So I'm very surprised right now.
And he's been specifically asked to save this person.
Yeah.
he
Get his
asked me
hat.
to rescue
Okay,
him.
okay.
And also, there was nobody there, and I knew that, but he wouldn't go back to bed. So I snuck all the way up to the attic, and then he like pokes his head out, and he's like, "Are you there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here. It's fine." He's like, "Are they gone?" I'm like, "Evan, there was nobody here. Go back to bed." He's like, "Okay." And just like sneaks back into his little hidey hole.
What if he saw a ghost?
Well, what he actually saw was he was probably either still drunk or very hungover, and it was dead silent in a giant house alone. That's what he saw, Because ghosts aren't real. But anyways.
Good lord.
So I rescued someone one time from a ghost that wasn't there.
That's your biggest claim to being a hero.
Yeah, right?
It's impressive. Oh, man, that's great. But anyways, this fucking Batman shit. Man.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yes.
I gotta
on
talk
that.
about it, because if I don't, I already brought it up, people get mad.
Yeah.
This Batman shit. Like, oh, man. That's crazy. So first off, I find it funny that people actually did a petition for him to not get casted as Batman. I thought
Really?
that was fucking hilarious.
All
People
the
have seriously
people-
put a
Deserve that.
petition?
Yeah. All the people. I mean, honestly, I look at it this
I
way.
don't even know what you're talking about.
So the guy who played the fucking dumbass vampire in Twilight is gonna be the next
Robert
Batman.
Pattinson.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about, actually.
Anyways,
Okay.
Mhm.
all the people who got like really bent out of shape over the fact that there was a petition made for that. I mean, they started attacking the people who like started signing the petition. Like, that's just like, let's be real. Like, if the director literally gets a petition and goes, okay, well, I'm just gonna let the fans create my movie, that's on the director. Like, fans are gonna be mad. They can bitch about whatever they want to, write as many petitions as they want. It doesn't fucking matter. It's ultimately up to the director to make the choice. Like, I mean, come on, let's be real. Anyways, so.
It's Sonic the Hedgehog, though.
But see, there's a difference, though. This dude is still going to wear the Batman suit at some point and
Yeah,
look
there's
like
a
Batman.
difference. Chris
Sonic.
actually doesn't agree with it. That's the difference.
That's also true.
Chris signed
Sonic.
the Sonic petition.
Well,
That's the
no,
difference.
to be fair, I definitely don't want this guy playing Batman. He's going to be fucking terrible. Absolutely terrible.
No, you know what? I disagree. Okay, here's my thing. My favorite Batman is gosh, what's the first one?
Adam
Not
West.
Adam West. Not Adam West.
Adam
The
West.
first movie one. Who's the guy that was the bird dude in Spider-Man? Please, my brain is stupid.
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about. The guy that played Vulture.
Oh.
I don't know his name. I don't know the actor's
Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Val
Val
Kilmer?
Kill me.
No.
Nope, that's the terrible one.
See, what kills me is our audience knows to tweet at their
name. No.
Or their phone.
See, that's a bunch of bullshit. Our audience doesn't know anything. Our audience literally is listening to this, and then they go to Google and get the name. They're like, "You fucking idiots! It was so and so." Don't come at me like that. I know damn well you got Google up on your screen right now.
Yeah, we're working on it.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the audience.
Was it Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton.
I said that.
And
Okay.
Michael Keaton would have, Michael Keaton at that time was a terrible choice for Batman, and he totally pulled it off. So, I think having a...
Cody, lightning
like-
doesn't strike twice, dude. What do you fucking want?
Well, no. But here's the thing. you're almost not casting Batman, you're casting Bruce Wayne.
No.
And if I could imagine a
casting
piece
this
of crap billionaire playboy, like that's who the face
But
needs to be.
No,
it needs to be Jamie Dornan from 50 Shades. That's who it needs.
Yes, it does. Yeah, I'd be okay with that too.
Only because I know it would be awful if that was the case.
Jamie Dornan.
The guy who plays Christian Grey in 50 Shades,
Have
he's
you not
got
watched
that
those
like
movies, like 30 times.
I've not watched.
No, hang on. I have to brag on somebody else for a moment because there are few things more beautiful and perfect that I've seen in my entire life than the Snapchats from Mandy and Cody when they watch 50 Shades of Grey together because they put the filters on the characters and just like Snapchat the entire movie in our group of friends, and that is joy incarnate, guys. That is
so bad. The movies are so bad. But my point is Jamie Dornan totally has like the asshole billionaire face.
Yeah, I mean
he does have asshole billionaire face
in that movie. And also I think Batman probably would be into BDSM, so it makes sense, you know.
Okay, that's the new casting suggestion. Well, okay, but here's why like I definitely see both sides of why Robert Pattinson shouldn't be Batman and could be. What I'm hoping is that DC is desperate enough that they're actually trying to cast like somebody who could do it, because DC is struggling.
DC's
like
just desperate. That's all there is.
Yeah.
DC's just desperate.
Yeah, I do think it's funny that like what's his name? Wait.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck's like Batman corpse is still warm.
You need to like fucking catch up on your Batman actors. Jesus,
I know.
man.
I'm sorry. I'm just so bad at names.
I don't think you've gotten a single one of them yet.
I'm really bad at names. I'm not kidding.
This is why he has me.
Yeah, right. My point is that Batman's like still like hasn't been buried yet. You know, there's still
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. You know,
it's been buried. Ben Affleck buried it. No, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this anymore. It's really bad, actually.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm curious who they're gonna get to be like his play opposite him. You know, I want to know who the villain's gonna be.
Okay. Well, I do have a question though, and I don't know if they've like answered this. Is Robert Pattinson's Batman gonna be like a continuation in the universe?
He's not part of the extended universe, no.
Okay, because I know they've already like split up the Joker into 2 different actors now, which is insane to me. But I mean,
and they both suck.
Did that Joker movie come out?
No, the new one with
November.
Is it Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes.
Joaquin Phoenix.
He actually looks like it could. That looks like it could be interesting.
He looks terrible as the Joker. He might be good.
Yeah,
but
you're saying that
terrible.
solely off of his suit.
Can I mean, just say that?
Like I said, that
Joaquin
one
Phoenix
comment
terrible?
where it said the Joker looks like he just came out of small claims court. That I agree.
That's very true. But also, Joaquin Phoenix looks like he just came out of small claims court.
That kind of makes. Hi, Cat.
Hi, Cat.
But I feel like that kind of makes sense for the Joker's character. So I'm like, maybe. And now, granted, I have not read the comics, so this is purely from like this could be like an interesting take on it. Hopefully, because I'm hoping something good comes out, because all of these movies are coming out and they are so bad.
There's just no saving the DCEU at this point. It's just done. They just need to just let it go. Like they do good in animated movies. That's where the DCEU shines.
They do, yeah.
And their
There's
TV shows are pretty good
DC
too,
stuff.
somewhat maybe. I don't know.
I think the stories just lack. The storylines with the Disney movies are so good, and they know how to hit you in the right place. And then
please,
DC...
for the love of God, if we're gonna call it the DCEU, call it the MCU. All right, I don't need you to fucking
Disney.
refer to it as
Disney.
Disney. MCU. We're not talking Disney versus fucking Warner Bros. We're talking DCEU versus MCU. Overall. We're talking about the fucking movies, not the fucking people that fucking make them.
I am wrapping up Disney movies and everything. Like overall, Disney as a whole knows the formula.
But not all Warner Bros. Fucking movies suck.
Well, no, I do think that's true to say that the issue with the DC movie was 100% what's his name. Helpful, I know. The director.
Zack Snyder.
Zach Baggins.
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
Damn it, Cody! Learn one person's name.
I've complained about Zack Snyder so much, and I still forget his name.
He wakes up in the morning next to Mandy, rolls over and says, "Who the fuck are you?
Who are you?"
He thought I was Molly, like the first 2 weeks of us dating.
I wanted
so
to say time that I called you the wrong name, like while we were making out. But that happened.
It's a
God,
good thing
you're
he's
so
never
lucky.
had. Right, it's a
I
good thing
liked
he's
you.
never had any other girlfriends because I know that's not what he was like doing.
Cody's gonna be great whenever he gets older. I hope to God he like turns into that Snap person where he's like, oh, what's that one guy's name? That's what I hope happens.
He kind of already does it just without the snapping.
I want the
so.
snapping now. And snapping has to
Yeah, I
happen.
just get angry and start
But-
yelling at things.
Point being, though, I totally agree. It's Zack Snyder's fault, and it's whoever. I don't know if they
mean-
have somebody like Kevin Feige who's like actually in charge, because like Marvel did a great job of introducing characters who weren't crazy popular, and then got the other ones in.
I don't know if you can put all
And-
the blame on Zack Snyder though. I don't know.
Oh, his style though.
I'm putting
That's
all
the-
the
that's
blame
the
on
issue,
Zack
though.
Snyder.
He had a
I don't know
style,
who it is.
and everybody bitched about it. So he gave them what they wanted, and it sucked. If he could have just continued his
No.
style, it would have been really good. I mean, you know he's a comic
No.
book writer, right? You know he wrote these comics. Like,
I think that Zack Snyder like has a visual style that has come through in all of his movies, and the only time they stopped coming through in the only time these movies did not look like Sucker Punch was when he stopped directing the movie, and one of the guys that directed the Marvel movies started directing the movie.
Was it James? No, it wasn't James Gunn.
It was the guy that directed Buffy, whose name I also don't know.
Oh.
fucking shocker.
Hang on, nuts.
I've
I
been
would know
doing-
it if you hadn't forgotten it.
Also, the guy that directed
Oh,
Firefly.
Joss Whedon?
Joss Whedon
yeah, that one.
directed the.
He did the first Avengers. Yeah.
He did the first Avengers, and he did
Yeah.
Age of Ultron and Justice League.
Yeah.
Justice League.
Damn, he did one good movie and two shitty ones. Fucking bravo.
Yeah.
Fucking
I will.
hats off to
Whoa.
you.
Are you
So
talking
hard,
Age of
and I
Ultron?
Age of Ultron
Big.
was fucking terrible. It was
No way.
absolutely.
You
Ultron
hated it because
was-
you didn't like what they did with your favorite bad guy.
I'm not the
It-
only
it
person
was-
that hated it. It's a shit mark on the MCU. I
It
would,
was
I
not
would
the worst
rather
MCU
beat my
movie
fucking
by a
brains in and watch Ant-Man again than fucking watch goddamn Age of Ultron. Shit was terrible.
Ant-Man wasn't that bad. What was
I
bad
know.
was
It's
the
at the
Hulk.
bottom of the
The
list.
Hulk was
Well,
bad.
I
The
mean,
Incredible Hulk.
the Hulk
was
is
aw-
yeah, but the Hulk it wasn't done by fucking the actual MCU. The Hulk is Universal Studios. It's not
But
done
it
by them.
technically is
It
in
has
the MCU.
Tony Stark in it.
You guys say it is. The actual Marvel universe says that like it started at Iron Man 1. So...
Yeah, Incredible Hulk was right after
Yeah,
that,
but
and
yeah,
we
actually
forgot about that and the Sony Spider-Man. You see how that works? Like
You mean the Andrew
We just
Garfield
blocked it out.
Andrew Garfield was great. You need to calm the fuck down. All right.
Wait,
He
No,
was
no, no, no. I was
fantastic.
asking
Come
if
on.
that's the one you
Oh,
were
okay.
talking
No, he
about.
wasn't.
No.
No.
Cody,
Andrew Garfield
just
was not good
stop.
at
Fuck. Just stop.
this. You gotta stop saying ridiculous things like Andrew Garfield can act.
Excuse me?
Oh,
He was
okay.
a great Peter Parker. Fantastic Peter Parker.
I mean, he was attractive. That doesn't make him a good Peter Parker.
was
just because he
fucking-
has giant hair.
Who
Perfect
said he
kid.
was attractive? I don't know if anyone said that.
Are you
besides
blind?
Are you kidding me? So fucking
Actually, yeah.
so Andrew Garfield can get you a fucking half mast, but yet you're fucking rocking a fucking limp noodle with Ryan Reynolds. Get the fuck out of here. The fuck out of here.
I feel like Cody needs to reevaluate his attraction scale.
Apparently. Fuck. Someone
I mean,
sit him
keep the
down
one
at
that you
like
have
a
for your
fucking
wife.
model
That's
runway.
spot
Wait,
on.
no.
Right,
Good
exactly.
lord.
Wait, time out. Did you just say it starts at Patton Oswalt?
Yeah, it works its way down.
Who's Patton Oswalt?
Jesus
Patton
fucking
Oswalt
Christ.
is your number one, hottest
Oh
person?
my god.
To
Yeah.
answer your question, he's just an actual hobbit. Like, that's the best way to
No, I
describe
know
it.
who the hell he is. What the
He's
what's
talking,
wrong
he's
with
talking
you?
to Bree. Bree doesn't know who Patton Oswalt is.
Is that
Just
your
imagine
high?
a hobbit.
Is that
There
your
you
high
go.
rating or low rating?
I said it starts.
He-
so I'm
he
guessing
does
it
have-
starts
That's
with
number
one.
one.
Yeah.
And then we work our
Like,
way down.
Oh, you
That's
work
like
your way
that-
down. Jesus Christ, dude.
Good for you?
That's the top. That's the pinnacle. He's funny. He's pocket sized. It's great.
He's second only to Mandy, apparently.
Oh
She's-
man.
That's not what I said. I said he was the pinnacle of
You're
attraction.
putting words in his mouth, Kelly. You're putting words in his mouth.
I'm trying to save his marriage, and he's like, no,
Oh,
Patton
God.
Oswalt is bae.
If they ever get a divorce, Cody's just gonna be like, "You'll never be like Pat." He wouldn't do this to me. Yeah. He's number one.
Oh God.
Good Lord.
I love Patton Oswalt, but I love him as like a really funny butterball. Like I do not look at that and like, yes, that I want to touch it. Like
oh, now I feel bad for Patton Oswalt. Poor guy.
no, I like him,
catch
but
a break.
butterball.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
like,
gonna make him feel better when you're like, you're funny, you know, like a tiny round clown.
He's an okay guy, but
Fine.
like he's one of those dudes where it's like I could never see him having his own movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just gonna show up and be a guest star.
Ratatouille.
He's
Are you
perfect
kidding?
as a guest.
Was he in Ratatouille?
He was Ratatouille.
Oh, are you serious?
Cody,
I didn't know that.
Cody.
Animation.
I'm not talking about animation. I'm talking about an actual real
The
life movie.
character's name was not Ratatouille, though.
His name was Remy, but
He was Ratatouille. He wasn't even the rat. He was the fucking movie.
oh
He
my
was
God,
the
that's
pasta.
It wasn't a pasta. It's a vegetable stew, Kelsey.
Damn.
Gosh.
Okay.
Holy
Well, now I'm
shit.
embarrassed.
Coming out of the fucking
I
fire with that
actually
one.
knew that.
Good Lord. But that's what I'm saying, though. There's just like certain people. Like, for instance, I've grown up from the South. I like a lot of fucking South rappers. Ludacris is great in other songs. When he's featured, he goes on fucking fire. His own songs, hit or miss. Same way with Patton Oswalt. I think he's great whenever he shows up and shit, but I feel like if he had a movie where he was the main character, I'd be like, there could have probably been better casting choices for this. Like Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Danny
That's why you
DeVito's the
put them
shit.
in like the character actor. Like, thank you for being a specialty actor.
Oh my gosh. Can we talk
Okay.
about how grotesque not Patton Oswalt, sorry. Danny DeVito was when he was the penguin?
I mean,
do you remember that?
I need an actor translator. Can I get an actor translator? Like people have a voice translator. I need an actor translator. I have no clue what any of these people are that you guys have said for like the past
Danny
10 minutes.
DeVito.
Okay,
Danny DeVito
Google.
is probably
Google it.
the greatest thing God has given us on earth. Like Danny DeVito is phenomenal. Whenever he did that M&M commercial, he was just swimming in the chocolate. Like that was so great. I love Danny
he
DeVito.
was not that you would have like seen his face in this one, but he was Phil in Hercules, the trainer.
Yeah, the imp.
Okay, I can imagine the voice now. You guys have some pics here, like I think my eyes might actually go blind after looking these people up.
Danny DeVito is amazing. I love that
Oh
man.
my
He's
gosh.
so great. Like his
looks adorable.
role in Always Sunny easily made him so high up on my fucking list. Like and it was funny because when I first started watching the show, I watched off a recommendation off another YouTube channel that I watch a lot, and they were always talking about it. I was like, I need to sit down and watch it. And so I started watching it, and then like whenever they introduced his character into the show, and he was like the dad of the main two characters, I was like, if he's literally just tagging along and he's the dad, this show is not going to be as funny to me. And then all of a sudden it's like he's not actually their father and shit like this. I was like, okay, cool, this is great. Let's continue to go on. And oh my God, I love it. I love it. He's so good. My favorite fucking episode with him so far is easily the water park episode. Whenever he goes down the fucking slide and there's no water, and it's one of those fucking big fall drops, and it rips the shit out of his back, so he's bleeding all over the place. And the entire time, to set this up for Kelsey and Bree, the entire time they'd been getting ahead on all the rides because this one kid passed by him because he had cancer, so he kept going in front of the ride. So then Charlie was telling everybody that Danny DeVito's character Frank had AIDS, and so he falls in the water and blood starts going everywhere, and everybody's like, no, it's AIDS, AIDS, and they start running out. It's so fucking funny. Oh my God. It's like,
I love that show so much.
it's so good.
Dark and horrible.
And the best part is they go to go on the slide, and they're like, there's no water running. They see there's no water running, so they open up a water bottle, just like a little 12-ounce water bottle, and pour it on the slide. It's like, all right, it's good to go. And he just goes down. You just hear him fucking swearing his ass off the whole, motherfucking shit, this hurts. And just all the way down, you just see blood marks all the way down the fucking slide, where it's just ripping his back flesh off.
Oh.
Oh my God. Episode fucking kills me. Oh, mainly because at the end, fucking Dee gets in the water and she gets out, and the whole time they were just trying to avoid the water because they didn't want kid piss in the water, and they fall in the same water that Frank was in, and all they hear is, there's AIDS blood in the water. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? I was dodging kid piss, and now I've got AIDS? Oh, it's just so fucking good. I love the behind the scenes stuff in shows. That's what gets me the most. Like I like it in The Office a lot, but Always Sunny is another one where it's like Dee and Mac hate each other on the show, but they're actually husband and wife in real life.
Yeah, well, and
Charlie and the
Day
waitress.
coffee shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, are married.
Yeah, and he's trying to constantly get her to marry him in the show, and she's like, "No, you're fucking disgusting." And they're actually married in real life. It's fucking great. I love that.
I find that
it's
hilarious.
So good.
All of their well, and how often like what's his name calls Dee a bird?
Yes.
Like, you look like a giant bird. Like, oh, you have to go home after.
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
You
You know, there's no
look like a bird.
Yeah. There's no way after fucking years of doing that show, she hasn't done that at least once, where she's like, "Do I really look like a bird? Like, I need to know." Like,
oh my gosh, I do love that show.
That show is so fucking good, man.
It is.
It's actually funny because the guys I was talking about was Achievement Hunter. They talk about the show nonstop, and the show ended up finding out. So they actually reached out to Rooster Teeth to see if they would want to be in the show.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like a Jeff and Michael thing. They're like huge, like they're from Achievement Hunter. They're like huge fans of the show. Well, they couldn't get in contact with them. So Bernie, which is my favorite person, accepted the call as the CEO of Rooster Teeth. And he went on the show just to fucking piss them off. And I was like, no way. So he's like on the show for like a total of like a minute, just sitting in the background at the bar, just drinking. And I was like, yes, Bernie. I was like, that's something I would totally fucking do. It's so great.
That is the most cruel thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right?
That's
it's
really
fucking
horrible.
Amazing. It's so
That is a
good.
mean thing to do to your friends.
The most cruel thing.
I
the
mean,
most.
He has
most
absolutely
Cody-
heard of crueler things because he has told me crueler stories that he should not tell on this YouTube channel.
A lot of people have those.
Gosh.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. So if you enjoyed this content, please make sure you like and subscribe. Also turn on the notifications. That way you get notified every time we upload another video. Make sure you hit us up in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about the new Batman. Do you hate it? Do you like it? You hate it, right? Yeah, it's okay, cool. We'll go ahead and start up like 1,000 comment petition, you know? Let's go ahead and do it, even though he's already been okayed for the role. But let's fucking do it anyway, you know? Fuck everybody. It's great. But if you like him, I will delete your comment. I'm just throwing it out there now. I'm just joking. Anyways, if you want more direct form of communication, we got Twitter links down there. If you want to come watch us play some video games, we got the Twitches as well. But at the end of all this, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.